If you're good at just about anything, and I'm assuming you are as a business owner, you solve a problem, and that problem creates another problem. And this is a really good thing because by going from one thing to the next thing, you have opportunities to upsell your clients and keep them a client longer term as opposed to just having a single transaction with them. So let me give you an example. If you have hand sanitizers, which are the big deal now during this pandemic, you're in business. If you're a distributor, if you produce a product, you probably don't have enough production capacity to keep everybody, satisfied with the supply. But what happens next? Now that people are using hand sanitizers a lot, there's a big problem of how do I make the hand sanitizer available? I can't just put bottles around my house or my office or my building. So now I need hand sanitizer stations. And if you're walking around the different places, you'll see that they have a little station where you either put your hand underneath it automatically goes off, and that way people aren't touching the device and contaminating themselves, etc. So there's a demand now that you caused by selling so much hand sanitizers for how do I make them available to the greater population. Another problem you're likely causing is that people with sensitive hands can't handle so much hand sanitizers on their hands. So you've got to come up with either a nicer on your hands version or a cream, some sort of solution so that people that have sensitive skin don't become allergic to this, and now that causes another problem. The thing is that you are the expert in your area, so you should be anticipating the problems that can be solved, and then you're ahead of the game. You're the one that is already solving problems that people don't even think they're going to have, which makes you look sharper, and more adept at fixing problems. So let's give you an example. Let's say that I am a tennis instructor, and so I create an online program that shows people the basics of how to serve, or the basics on how to return a really hard serve, whatever it is that's the lesson you're teaching. And you make it self-service. It's a do-it-yourself program. You log in, you see the lessons, you practice, and then maybe you come back. What's the problem you're likely causing in those people's minds? It's like, you know what? I need some feedback. I need someone who's an expert to see me playing tennis and tell me what I'm doing right or doing wrong, because I followed the lessons. I've done as much as I can by myself. So now you offer a service where you have people videotape themselves serving, playing tennis, doing the things that you told them in the drill, and you provide a custom response where you look at their video and you come up and you give them a solution. Hey, that causes another problem or another demand. If you start publishing these critiques, you likely have people going, man, I can't afford that one-on-one or that very specific custom solution, but I'd like to have access to people being critiqued because maybe I can learn from that. So now you create a library of critiques of other people, because as I'm learning how to serve, I want to see how other people serve. I want to see a coach critiquing them, and then I can learn from that. Whoa, the next problem can be that I need to connect with other people that are tennis players. I'd like to, first of all, maybe be able to play with someone else who's local, but maybe what I want to do is exchange experiences, because I'm trying to learn how to play tennis, but maybe what I also want to find out is how do I get involved in leagues that are at my skill level? How do I, and it could be that some people just want to socialize and they want to have other people, just share notes and, exchange ideas on that. If you start building a virtual program that starts adding one thing after another, and they build on each other, then you're seen as the expert and the know-it-all in this tennis coaching, teaching space. And so as you're building your virtual programs, make sure that you start thinking through what are the things you solve first, what are the problems that solves, that creates, and then how do you help your customer address that? And then how do you address the next problem and the next problem and the one that comes after that? And you're creating an upsell opportunity, a resale opportunity. And if you set this all up in a recurring program where you're charging people monthly, month after month, or year after year, you've got yourself a nice business.